This week, first question comes from Hurricane. And Hurricane sent me a tweet, or as a thread tweet of Bomani Jones, and said, "Get him up off you, Withers." And the thread was, okay. Bomani Jones said, "I really might be the biggest Randy Moss fan on earth. I helped produce a 30 for 30 on him. I can't believe how many people push back on Jerry Rice as the best receiver ever. It isn't that many resisting the idea, but it's still way more than makes sense. In 1986, Jerry Rice caught 15 touchdowns. That was his second year. That led the NFL. Joe Montana played 8 games that year. Someone named Jeff Kemp led the TD in touchdown passes. 21 touchdown passes between 3 guys. Keep that in mind. Not sure how we came up with the idea that Moss didn't play with good quarterbacks. Before the injury, Culpepper was a beast. It's also Tom Brady, a decent version of Jeff George, and the last great Randall season." So, this is the why I just don't accept it. Jerry Rice. Well, it's also, there's greatest and best wide receiver. When I think greatest, I think about accomplishments, right? Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but when I think great, I think of accomplished. He's by far the most accomplished. So if you're like that, the individual accolades, team accolades, awards, whatever, if that's greatest, sure. But I think of things in terms of, if I had my pick, who would I take? Who would I take? And my thing with Jerry Rice, 1, he's corny. 2, it's so wild because anytime I talk to Jerry Rice, the first thing they always bring up is what he did at 40 years old. And I don't, like, cool, but I don't know. That just doesn't register for me. Like, if we're talking about why somebody's the greatest, like, that's like saying, like, man, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar averaged 12 points a game, his 20th season. Oh, okay, that's why he's the greatest? That's your first argument? 2, why is he the only GOAT that can't sit his ass down somewhere, man? Why? 3, he played with 3 separate MVP quarterbacks. And we'll get into that. And that's fully acknowledging he helped them, they helped him. It was 2-sided, but let's not overlook that. 3 separate MVP quarterbacks. And maybe the best coach of his era. If you polled people, one of the better football minds of all time, Bill Walsh, pioneered the West Coast offense. That was his coach. He openly admitted to cheating. Like, I don't hold none of the other stuff against him. Openly admitted to cheating. I think it's disgusting. And the stats are impressive. Like, he's first in yards, catches, touchdowns, all that by a lot. But it feels weird to go stats here, right? Like, Drew Brees got passing yards and touchdowns record. I know he just passed Brady or got it, whatever. Ain't nobody calling Drew Brees the best quarterback of all time. It's not even close. You know what I'm saying? He's not even in the top 3, 5. You know what I'm saying? Emmett got the most rushing yards. Ain't nobody saying Emmett's the best running back of all time that's not wearing a Cowboys jersey, denim jean shorts, and 13s, Flint 13s with a fade. Kareem his stats trump anybody. We just had to listen to him go on forever. Was it Jordan or LeBron? So, I don't know, like Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron got the most home runs of all time. He's not the best. He's not the GOAT baseball player. He's up there. And that's how I feel about Rice. You know what I'm saying? And the durability, it is commendable. But I really don't care what you did at 40. That's just me. And like, unless that was when I'm a peak prime guy. So if that's when your peak and prime was, but nah, I'm good. I'm good off that. So, this is the deep dive of the quarterbacks that each of them played with, because it's one of those things like, okay, yeah, point acknowledged. I don't think it's acknowledged how big the gap was. So, I did a little research, okay? So I was looking at the quarterbacks that started the majority of the season. to be fair to both of them, right? Like, as some spot starters in there for each. Like, that's just what happens when you play wide receiver in the NFL. But for the most part, like, who played the majority of the games? Before Jerry Rice was drafted, Joe Montana made 3 All-Pro teams. And it just came off a 15-1 season where he won the Super Bowl. Before Randy Moss, Randall Cunningham had been injured. He lost his job. He retired. And his quarterback rating, like, over the past, what did I look, 3-4 years before that, his quarterback rating was 74. He had 30 touchdowns to 27 picks, 13-12 record. Like, as mid can be. So that's why it's like saying he got Cunningham. Man, listen, he wasn't Cunningham no more till Moss made him Cunningham, with all due respect. And the first year with Moss, Cunningham had 34 touchdowns. Boy, somebody getting a car, Jack. Thank you. His first year with Moss, after all that, he had 34 touchdowns and 10 picks. 106 quarterback rating. 13-1 and 14 starts. So again, this was literally a guy that, like, retired, just came back, was not playing well, and just turns in the best season of his career. The second quarterback Jerry Rice had was Steve Young. He won 2 MVPs. And again, Rice contributed a lot in that. I'm like not taking that out or overlooking that at all. But 1997, Jerry Rice got hurt. If you remember, that was the year Jerry Rice, week 1, he tore his ACL and MCL. And that was one I fake remember that. Like, oh man, he got like week 1. I always hate when people get hurt week 1. That just, I'll be so sick. You do training camp, you get in shape, all that, week 1, ACL, MCL. But he came back 14 weeks later after a torn ACL and MCL against medical advice, which it's wild. 20 years ago, with that technology, he tried to come back in 3 months on a torn ACL and MCL. His first game back, he immediately cracked his patella. Immediately. I remember that too. That year without Rice, they went 13-3. They got the number 1 seed. They lost in the conference championship to the Packers. Steve Young made All-Pro that year. He led the league in passer rating. He led the league in completion percentage. He led the league in yards per attempt. So he wasn't, just checking down without Rice there. Randy Moss' second quarterback was Jeff George. 1998 was the 15-1 year, Moss's rookie year. The next year, 36-year-old Randall Cunningham got benched after going 2-4 in the first 6 games. Enter Jeff George. And the thread that Hurricane sent, he said he got a decent version of Jeff George. Again, why was he a decent version of Jeff George? Because Moss. Like, come on, man. This was Jeff George. This was his 3rd team in 3 years. In the previous 3 years, he had started 26 games. He'd won 7 of them. 36 touchdowns to 17 picks over the previous 3 years. He takes over for Cunningham. Vikings go 8-2. Team makes the playoffs. Jeff George has a career high in yards per attempt and touchdown percentage. And Jeff George, he played like a lot of years, a lot more years than I remembered, and those were career highs for him. Next year, he signed 4 years, $15 million deal in Washington. He played 7 games after that, over 2 years, and was out of the league. Right? So any decent version you getting, why is he the decent version? The third quarterback Jerry Rice played with. It's 1999. Team's coming off a 12-4 year. They're looking to rebound. They didn't win the Super Bowl. Steve Young gets hurt 3 games in. Okay. Enter Jeff Garcia. Rookie Jeff Garcia. He was killing it in the CFL. I think it was either CFL or NFL Europe, one of those. I think CFL. In comes Jeff Garcia, who was, I think, like 28, 29-year-old. But he was a rookie. Rookie to the NFL, so a rookie. He started 10 games. They went 2-8, 11 touchdowns to 11 picks, quarterback rating of 78, like as mid can be. And it was a lost season. They finished 4-12. Rice finished with like 800 receiving yards. He played 16 games but finished with 800 yards. Like, it happens. Next year, Garcia comes back and throws for 4,300 yards with 31 touchdowns to 10 picks. He makes his first Pro Bowl. So, like, Jeff Garcia had one bad year, and they figured it out. T.O. broke out that year. The team went 6-10, so it wasn't team success yet. But he went on to make, I think, 4 Pro Bowls. Rice played all 16 games. He had another 800-yard season. So I don't know about that one. And so T.O.'s breaking out. This is when Rice decides to leave. He goes to Oakland. The first year he left Oakland, this isn't relevant to the quarterbacks. It's just funny. First year he left Oakland. They were 6-10 last year. First year he leaves, they went 12-4. They had their third best scoring offense in the league. Garcia made another Pro Bowl. T.O. went crazy as soon as Jerry Rice left. That's just funny. But, okay, that was the third quarterback he had. The third quarterback that Randy Moss had was Dante Culpepper, who was a beast. Right? He was the 11th pick in the draft, but that year, the Cunningham, Jeff George year, he just sat that year. That used to be a thing. That's wild that was a thing. You would just sit a quarterback his entire rookie year, and now it's like you have to play him even if he stinks because he's cheap. That's how it goes. But Dante Culpepper was number 3. So he was there for the next 5 years. Over that time, he made 3 Pro Bowls. He made a first-team All-Pro. He made a second-team All-Pro. He led the league in yards, and he led the league in touchdowns. And those are 2 different seasons. He was a beast. 73 games with Moss, career quarterback. And this is like not only throwing to Moss, but just like an average season of the seasons he was with Moss. Quarterback rating of 93, 28 touchdowns to 16 picks, completed 65% of his passes, and was a threat to run too. Boy, he would cook today. Oh, man. But his last year in Minnesota, he tore up his knee. That 5th year of the rookie deal, he tore up his knee. So he got traded to Miami for the 2nd-round pick. If you remember, they picked him over Drew Brees. So, admittedly, he was coming off a bad injury. I think it was ACL, MCL. And Jerry Rice tried to come back after like a long weekend. But he came back, was healthy enough to be cleared to be traded for a 2nd round. Like a 2nd-round pick ain't nothing. That was Nick Saban giving up that 2nd-round pick. He was healthy enough to be. It's like, well, we're taking him over Breeze. So the 31 games he played without Moss, his quarterback rating was 72, 21 points lower. Completed 59% of his passes, 6% less than with Moss. 10 touchdowns to 17 picks, a ratio over a season. It was 28-16 before. So it's like interesting. The interceptions are still there, but the touchdowns and completion percentage aren't. I wonder why that is. And it's not knocking Culper. He got hurt like at literally the worst time, like Dak really. And after that, he just wasn't the same. So some of it was injury for sure. I'm willing to concede. I mean, not even concede. That's just the game. But he clearly wasn't the same guy without Moss. The 4th quarterback that Jerry Rice played with was Rich Gannon. Okay, so 2 years. We're going back 2 years before Rice got to Oakland. Gannon made Pro Bowls both of those years. Both of those years. And again, Pro Bowl is clearly not the end-all, be-all. But I do think back then, I think it was less of a popularity contest than it became. So, and he made 2 of them straight. Average season, 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 picks, 60% completion percentage. He did that for 2 years. They went 8-8 and then 12-4. This is without Rice. So Rice shows up, and this is where like the Rice fans kick in. because he had 1,100 yard season at age 39 and a 1,200 yard season at age 40. Great, sick. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a hell of a feat. So while Rice is there, Gannon makes 2 more Pro Bowls, of course. He wins MVP the second year. So I'll give Rice kudos here. He knew exactly when to jump ship. He's like, T.O.'s better than me. That Gannon guy is looking all right. Like I still got something left in the tank. So it's talked about like Rich Gannon, like he was just a bum before Rice came in. No, he wasn't. Now Rice clearly jumped him that next level. But again, he had like a couple of Pro Bowls without him. So he elevated his play for sure, and that's what I'm saying Moss does to literally everybody. And they have much less talent to elevate. So that was the 4th quarterback Jerry Rice played with. The 4th quarterback that Randy Moss played with was Kerry Collins. This is when Moss was traded to Oakland. Okay, so the team was 5-11 the year before him. They traded for him. The 4th quarterback he plays with is Kerry Collins. Let's look at Kerry Collins 2 years before Moss. 26 starts. He won 7 of them. 3,300 yards per season and 34 touchdowns to 36 picks. A gunslinger. First year with Moss, he threw for 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns to 12 picks, and went to Tennessee. He started 3 games that next year. Lost all 3 of them, and his quarterback rating was 42. That was the 4th quarterback he ever played with. I think it was 2 seasons later, he had the season where the Titans were good. And if you go back and look, dude, that was Kerry Collins' good year, and he was not good. Kerry Collins was just not a good quarterback. But that was the 4th quarterback that Moss played with. The 5th quarterback that Jerry Rice had was Matt Hasselbeck. This is after he left Oakland. He went to Seattle, and I remember him in Seattle. He played more games there than I thought. I really was thinking it was a couple games, but Matt Hasselbeck was coming off of a Pro Bowl year. 3,800 yards, 26 touchdowns. Rice got there. He didn't make the Pro Bowl. Rice leaves. He makes the Pro Bowl again. So I ain't saying he's bad news, but I don't know. That's the 5th quarterback he had. The 5th quarterback Randy Moss had, and this was, I mentioned both these guys because they were perfectly split. They both played 8 games, Moss's 2nd year in Oakland. And Andrew Walter and Aaron Brooks. Those were the quarterbacks he had. So I'm just combining them into one Andrew Brooks, into one quarterback. Combined, they passed for 2,700 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 21 picks. 6 touchdowns, 21 picks. Aaron Brooks never played again after that. Andrew Walter threw 57 more career passes, never played again after that. Okay, so do you sense the theme here? You sense the theme here? Because I haven't even gotten to Tom Brady yet. The first year Rice gets Tom Brady, first year Moss gets Tom Brady, he breaks Rice's touchdown record. They went 16-0. You know what I'm saying? And those 5 quarterbacks for Jerry Rice, that was his entire career. That took him from 85 to 2004. His rookie year was Montana. His last year was Hasselbeck. And, some of that's, good luck, good fortune, and whatever. But Moss's 5 quarterbacks took him to 2006. He's not even 30 yet. And he's had 5 quarterbacks, as the main guy. It was Montana to Young, to Garcia, to Gannon, to Hasselbeck was what Rice had. Moss had Cunningham to George, to Culpepper, to Collins, to Andrew Walters / Aaron Brooks. And again, you check out what those guys did with and without Moss. And I'll say, Cunningham aside, when Cunningham won MVP, like, not even kidding, I think Randy Moss was still in elementary school, right? So that feels like it shouldn't register. It was that long ago. And Moss shows up and he's immediately MVP candidate. So the 2 years that Moss gets killed for in Oakland, this is what's brought up against Randy Moss. Those 2 years combined, 102 catches, 1,558 yards, 11 touchdowns. Jerry Rice, the 2 years adjusting to life without a Hall of Fame quarterback, 142 catches, 1,635 yards, 12 touchdowns. But those aren't held against Rice. And he had Jeff Garcia. Like, man, you know what Moss would have did with Jeff Garcia? Even bad Jeff Garcia. So, like, he made Pro Bowls right after that. When he went to Oakland and had those 39 and 40 years, 39 and 40-year-old seasons, he played all 16. You know what I'm saying? He played all 16 the games where something went on and he caught 800 yards a season. But he don't get killed for quitting on a couple seasons. He gets I gave it my all every single route. That year too, both of them. Okay. The man said he gave it all. He gave it his all. But from Randy Moss's sophomore season, his second year in the league, to the year before he was traded to Oakland, Minnesota was a bottom 10 team in defense every single year. Every single year. In 4 of those years, they were in the bottom 5. That takes you from 99 to 05. And that's, like, again, the defense, not Moss's fault, but also not anything he can do about it. Rice, from 85 to 1998, the 49ers had a worse than league average defense one time. One time. They fell off in 99 and 2000. Those were Rice's last 2 years there. But 10 times they were a top 5 scoring defense. Right? And I know scoring defense is not the greatest measure, but over a 16 season sample size, you know what I'm saying? It's fair to say he had a good team around him. And I'm not as much holding it against Rice as I just don't think it's factored in enough, the talent disparity in quarterbacks, before he got 3 years with Tom Brady. We just covered Jerry Rice's 20-year career. He had Montana Young, all those guys. He had Pro Bowl play for well over a decade. Moss got Brady for 3 years. And the thing with Rice, he calls himself the GOAT, and he will not let people forget it. But deep down, he knows. He knows. He was a great receiver. The most accomplished of all time, certainly. But if you drop Randy Moss onto a team that just went 15-1 in 1985 in San Francisco, there are no more record books. If you drop a 21-year-old Terrell Owens, Megatron, Hopkins, Julio, you know what I'm saying? Drop any of those guys. It's, you know what I'm saying? He capitalized on it. Rice capitalized on it. So, again, salute to him. But if I'm given my choice of one, and that's how I look at these, I go Moss. I don't even want to say his name. Was bad guy Karl Malone, like, was he better than, like, Kevin Garnett? Or did he just have John Stockton? Right? Like, if those guys as an individual talent, give me Garnett. And the 49ers 15-1 the year before they got him, won the Super Bowl. And they never went 15-1 again. So someone could argue he made them worse. Like Marvin Harrison, another name. He and Reggie Wayne, I feel like they get knocked for playing with Peyton. But Rice doesn't get knocked for who he played with. And he cheated. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, we can all agree. It's like, okay, if Barry Sanders had Emmitt Smith's line, he would rush for 20,000 yards. But that's where it's like it feels insane to them. It's like somebody could approach Rice's numbers with similar setup. Now, are they going to play? I think he's played in also the most games ever, which, again, availability is the best ability for sure. But I'm more peak and prime over, like, the longevity of your career. So he capitalized on that. He was durable, dependable. He's great. But if I could pick any wide receiver, I would take Randy Moss. And then I think I'd take Terrell Owens. And then I think I'd take Calvin Johnson. Rice he in the mix after that.